Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 79th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by my fellow Hans Zimmer appreciator, Jaden.
Hi.
And the ASMR enthusiast, a.k.a. Fitzy, a.k.a. Liam.
Hey, I should clarify. When you say ASMR enthusiast, it's YouTube ASMR territory, not Twitch ASMR territory. But, continue.
Is there a distinction? What's the distinction?
They just appeal to different senses. Let's say that.
Okay. So I take it by that Twitch is more revolting in some way.
Yeah.
All right.
Bang on the money.
All right. Well, everyone out there can go and do their research on that if they like. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday, although I wouldn't mind changing it to talking about a different ASMR video or trend every single Monday, you know.
I would.
Analyse it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Maybe we can do that as like an April Fool's. And this week, the movie we're reviewing is The Guilty, which debuted on Netflix October 1st, 2021. It was directed by Antoine Fuqua, who I think I said his name right, known for plenty of films. Training Day, perhaps most notably, but plenty of other things. It is a thriller, and the synopsis says, a demoted police officer assigned to a call dispatch desk is conflicted when he receives an emergency phone call from a kidnapped woman. Fitzy, kick us off. The Guilty on Netflix, brand new original film. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. For just having like one location pretty much and just having like one character whose face we actually see is it was good for those constraints, I guess. So yeah, nothing special, but it was a good time.
Jaden?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. More than I thought I would, because I'd heard a bit of the stigma before going in, but I wasn't aware of what it was for. But no, I think it was quite engaging. I think some of the things, it's some of the things annoy me. It's just shit that annoys me typically in movies where they just talk in circles and like there's kind of
yeah, totally.
And like I know it's built in there to increase tension and make it more realistic and whatnot and shit like that, but like it doesn't change the fact that it pisses me off sometimes. But yeah, no, I did quite enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you know what that stigma was in retrospect?
It's because it's a remake of a Danish film, and people are like, just watching the Danish one. I'm like, get over it, just honestly.
I wonder what that original one would have been like. Is that also just in one room sort of deal?
Yeah, apparently it's almost shot for shot.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
I think there's a little bit of a difference in like the character. Apparently the character is more likable in the Danish one.
Sure.
But
sure.
Yeah, apparently everything else is bang on.
That's interesting, because I figured the movie was the way it was for COVID reasons, which it is. But you know what I mean? I thought maybe like the original was more out there. But I really liked the movie. I really did. It was a bit of a roller coaster in terms of trying to figure out, for me at least, what it was, because I didn't know anything about it other than I'd seen the poster on Letterboxd. That's literally all I knew about it. So I knew Jake was there, and that was it. So getting into it, and 15 minutes in or so, coming to the realization this is a COVID movie pretty quickly, and then me sort of like trying to figure it out as it goes. Like I became convinced halfway through, like totally convinced that this is going to be one of those like woman in the window, or not just that, but any other, the tropey. I feel like Netflix does this a bit, but like it was going to be a psychological twist where it's like it's all in his head or some bullshit, because the way that we don't know about his past and they keep alluding to he's done something wrong, and then the way the characters react to the kidnapping situation. I thought for sure he kidnapped his daughter in the past, or kidnapped his wife in the past or something, and it was like him like internally going through that. Like I thought that's 100% what it was going to be. I was totally wrong, thank God. I was like, dude, I've got you figured out, movie. I've got you figured out, but I really didn't, which is great. So when you get to the end there, and it wasn't that, and it sort of evolved into shockingly being very literal, but still like having the twists and turns and the tension and the thriller aspects of it. No, I did quite like it, and it flew by. Thought 90 minutes long.
Yeah,
So,
for a single location, like single
yeah,
character mostly, it was.
it didn't drag for me anyway, which I think is a sticking point, something that definitely the film was probably prone to perhaps doing, but good job. Good job. I want to know how much you guys knew about it going in, because there, like I mentioned, there was a moment where I'm like, oh, this is a COVID movie, where it's like it became really clear that no one's really going close to each other and Jake's just on camera doing everything. So, and I really enjoy those smaller scale things, but do you think that enhanced the movie? And did you know about it beforehand? I want to ask you, Fitzy.
No, I didn't know anything about this, but I don't know how you break out of the room, kind of, like,
Mm.
what do you, like, go, like, driving himself or something, or,
Yeah, I expected him to hop in the car himself at one point.
yeah,
He
maybe.
very well could have, yeah. Because he, like the last hour of the movie, he was off his shift, right? So, yeah, I thought that could have been. I mean, at that point, I'd realised what this was. So I didn't actually think he was going to do that. But in terms of the story progression, there was no reason he couldn't have, I mean, the movie looks great, though, doesn't it? Oh, I really think it's well shot. When you got someone like Antoine up in here directing the movie, then you know it's going to look great.
Have
And
you
it
seen
did.
his films before?
Yeah. I've seen Training Day. There was another one too.
Did he do?
Oh, for the love of God.
Did he do The Equalizer? Was that?
Oh, yes, he did, but I haven't seen those. No,
No,
but he
okay.
did do those. Oh shit, I don't know. Whatever. No, but he's great. Anyway, he's really good, and it's a credit to his direction. I think the film is consistently visually interesting and really elevates Jake's performance, considering it literally is just a dude sitting in a chair looking at his laptop monitors. Looking at his desktop monitors. I mean, I appreciate that about it, and he directed it from a van, believe it or not, because. So this just makes the most sense to throw in here. Someone near director Antoine Fuqua tested positive for COVID-19 mere days before the film began shooting. He had to isolate. He directed the entire movie from a van with monitors and was never on the soundstage with the actors. I mean, if there's any movie in the world you'd want that to be the case for, it's this one, because I imagine it's not the most complicated thing to, stage. But, I mean, that's pretty cool, I think.
So we'd have, like, someone in his place as, like, his robot or something.
he's got like a robot's wheeling around with a screen just with him on it. Yeah. That's a good point. Is the PA just holding the laptop, like just walking around set? That's a good point.
Well, it's probably just a what do you call it? What are those people that are on film sets that are just
personal assistant.
Yeah, PA, or like whatever they call it.
Or like a runner.
Yeah.
That's probably a bit more exciting job than getting coffee.
The thing is, like, like the rest of the production, like, crew are rather talented and are able to do stuff on their own. It's like, if they had like a second director or like an assistant director or whatever, and like the DP can stage everything he needs, alone, and the actors are smart enough to know what to do. And so, I mean, like, it is a big task to direct remotely, but like, these are competent people, so like, it's not the
end of the world.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I just never heard of it, so I thought it was. I thought it was neat. But Jane, did you like the film visually? I particularly I really like the opening shot of the movie and the closing shot. Like,
well,
just those glimpses.
It was because like they establish it like a disaster movie, and like it adds tension later on because you can't see, and all the smoke and shit, and his asthma acting up and all that stuff. But like it just felt a bit weird to kind of set it up as a disaster movie and then swap it into this kind of really confined thriller.
Sure. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, visually I can't really complain too much. I mean, obviously you're very limited in the shot variants and how actually appealing you can make it, but I think the control room looked pretty sick, and
it did. It did look pretty sick.
Who can complain about seeing Jake Gyllenhaal's face illuminated by a red light and some blue lights, and almost like it's the police lights, and it's kind of
No, all of the lights. Yeah. Get Kanye over here. Yeah, it was. No. I really enjoyed it. I think the fire backdrop. I hear you. I think it was a cool element. Like, I don't imagine the original version had that. I mean, I don't know.
I
But,
would
like,
I would have thought that it'd be because of, you know what, didn't California get fucking absolutely dicked over by fires like a year or two ago?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
so
fairly.
I imagine that would be like direct inspiration for that.
And I think that's a cool, if you're remaking a film, I think that's a cool element to add because, as you say, it does add tension. It does directly affect what the characters are going through and the visibility and all that sort of shit. But at the same time, it's also, I just really liked how it adds a bit of atmosphere. Like the film, I think it's going back to it being shot really well. Like often that in the control room, they have like the big screens up of just the fires all the time. And so often, like as Jake's moving around the center, you sort of get like you see glimpses of the fires in the reflections of the glass and the doors, and just little subtle things like that. You're sort of constantly reminded of that, of the scale of that. I don't know. I just think it's a cool little thing.
There's a shit ton of glass in this movie. That would have been a bit of a nightmare for getting rid of the camera.
That's a great point. You know, that I've always I could probably just look it up in like 2 minutes, but I sort of want to keep the mystery of like how do you remove a camera from like a mirror other than other than just CG. I feel like there's cool techniques.
I know that on The Office they angled all the windows slightly, and like it does it because it's like it'll still reflect, but it doesn't refract into the lens or some shit like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have something like that where like all the windows are slightly angled to reduce the amount of.
That's yeah. That would make sense. That's I love thinking about that stuff and all the effort that goes into prepping that because you have to know exactly like where the camera's gonna be at all times. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's basically Jake Gyllenhaal's movie. Other than I noticed Ethan Hawke was in the movie also as he was Henry. Is that right? I think he was Henry.
I don't remember the name, but he was the guy who was like he was like a superior to him, but he's like an old friend.
He was a sergeant, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because Henry was the husband who like supposedly kidnapped his wife.
Yeah, but they were all named actors, weren't they? Because like I realized like Paul Dano was
Oh, was he? What?
He was that one that got. I can't remember if he was the one that got kicked out of the nightclub by the bouncer or some shit, or if he was the one that got robbed by the prostitute. He was one of those two.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
That's me. When I recognized it was Ethan Hawke's voice, because I didn't realize it first, but I'm like, oh, that's Ethan Hawke. I saw it in the cast, and I was like, there's quite a few. Like,
Bill Burr was there.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And Riley Keough, she was the main. She was the woman, I think.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Okay. So, there you go. There are more cameos than I thought. That's exciting. Everyone's just stoked to get a payday during COVID. They probably just like voiced all their lines quickly. I mean, Jake's great, right? You know, Fitzy, just tell me he's great. Just do it.
I like seeing Jake mad. It's a lot of fun, you know.
It is a lot of fun. I mean, this character, this Joe character, like, he's an asshole, you know? Like, and he's even like more so than I expected. I was sort of at the start of it. I mean, they establish he's a cop. This isn't his full-time gig here in the call center, thank God, because he's awful at this job at the call center. Just terrible. But he like tells he keeps like judging everyone who calls in. It's like, wow. But that creates some genuinely, like, he delivers really strong emotional scenes, obviously, you know, as you'd expect. Close-ups, crying, anger, all that shit, right? Kills it, obviously. But then I wasn't expecting and was very impressed by some of the comedic moments in the movie too. I thought the comedic relief and the release of tension in those moments was really good. Like, there were probably 5 moments in this movie that made me like genuinely laugh pretty hard, to be honest. Like when the dude calls in about his scraped knee when he was riding his bike. Yeah. That was good. And and the whole prostitute thing you mentioned, it was great too. It was so judgmental, and Jake has a little subtle moment of acting. There are a few really good particular acting moments. There's a subtle moment of acting where, like, if it is Paul Dano, whoever it was describing the female, and it was like clearly describing a prostitute, and Jake like gives like a little like to the camera, and Like, yeah, I thought so. You know, it was really good. I like that.
Oh, Peter Sarsgaard was Henry.
Wait, so that's not, but that's not the
No, this
Skarsgård.
is
Oh
Skarsgård.
no, it's not.
No.
That's not Scar. Ah, shit. It's too many.
What? So, but is there a Peter Skarsgård?
I'm pretty sure there is.
Is he the it clown?
Isn't that Alexander?
Alexander.
No, Alexander is
Wait, isn't no
the tall
Alexander's?
guy in Big Little Lies.
Yeah,
That's
he's the
Alexander.
the Godzilla Kong guy.
Yeah, Godzilla Kong. Yeah.
But then,
And
so
there's
who's
the other one? It's
Pete? Not
I don't think it's
Peter.
Peter because
Bill. Yeah.
Bill.
Bill, Stalin,
Skarsgård.
Alexander, Gustav, Volta.
So, so is Peter Sarsgaard? Is he the Pirates of the Caribbean guy? Because you know how that one of them is in Pirates, one of the Sars or
He's
Skarsgårds.
the Green Lantern,
He is
Badly.
Green. He's in Green Lantern.
but I don't remember him from Pirates.
But you know Orlando Bloom's dad in Pirates.
No, I think that's Stalin, isn't it?
That's Stellan.
Yeah.
Is that a Skarsgård?
Oh, that's the dad. Isn't that the dad?
Yeah.
The dad's Skarsgård, not a Sarsgaard.
Yeah. Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Awesome. But so there's only one Sarsgaard. Like Peter's the only Sarsgaard. They're not a family of Sarsgaards. Okay. That's all right. So the Skarsgårds are the family. All right. I'm not going to repeat any. I'm not going to say the word guard again in this review. I hope. Oh, did you guys have any other particular moments of Jake's acting or that you really enjoyed? The only other one I'd mention is just, I mean, the asthma is the recurring thing, and him breaking down the cubicle at the end I thought was really good. I thought that was a nice full circle character moment for him that he really executed well on.
I think when he smashed the keyboard was over the top. You know, like when he got so pissed off that he like threw shut the glass and like he like fully like I mean like you know he's pissed off at himself at the situation and whatnot, but like are you that much of a loose cannon that you smash up this fucking $3,000-$4,000 setup or whatever it is?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he was an angry dude. He got pissed off, dude. I mean, so he literally killed a person, and he couldn't justify why. You know, like is there meant to be? Is the implication that it was something like some sort of criminal activity gone wrong? Is that what the idea was? He said he was pissed off.
No, yeah, it probably would have been like like a gone too far type thing. I don't know.
That's what I got from it when he was like him and that other mate of his that he was calling up clearly do dodgy shit. So I sort of got that from it, but I mean, yeah. So he broke the keyboard, he killed a person, you know, very equivalent acts of violence. And he's
a bad father.
He's a bad father. He's the worst, man. He's the worst.
Mean to his co-workers.
Yes, thank you. That's
yeah.
literally what I was thinking of, dude. Poor Manny and his beer. Manny just wanted a beer, bro. You know, he was really abusive to them. That was almost right. That was almost comical. The amount of times that people like knocked on the door and like and just asked politely something, and he's like, yeah, like, and he completely screams at them. That happened like 5 times in this movie. It's like, dude, you need a stress ball or something, honestly. But Jan, you mentioned some of the dialogue annoying you, sort of going in circles. I can think of, for me, I don't know if this is exactly what you mean, but I had that a little bit with, especially earlier on in the movie, like when Jake's, I mean, maybe this is the idea that he's sort of like, he is clearly terrible at his job until he gets motivated by this kidnapping case and he becomes really good at it. But there was the whole thing with him going in circles with the dispatchers and when he's like calling I don't know their names, but like, you know, when he gets in contact with like highway patrol or like certain other people that he has to communicate with to send out units and all that. Like there was the lady, I don't know who they were, but and he goes back and he goes in circles with them and like a lot, you know, and he's like talking to them and he just says 100 times, like, can you just do this? And they're like, no. It's like, bro, I didn't mean to. She clearly said at one point that they were really busy with calls, but she's just like talking to Jake for 2 minutes here, just taking their time. You know, I felt that a little bit. Is that what you mean, or
that was? I don't mind that part. I don't mind because I feel like each time at least there was a bit of variation. what I dislike more is kind of and like I get it's a movie, they have to build tension, and like that's why they withhold the information. But like the worst one was when like the Child Protective Services, they go to the apartment and like they're looking for the kid, and then and the guy finds a kid. He's like, oh god, oh no, oh getting, oh no, and like Jake's like, whatever Joe is his character's name rather.
Yes,
you know, he's like, what's happening? Say something. And like it's like it's meant to build tension and whatever, but it just pisses you the fuck off because he's just not saying anything apart from oh god, that was the worst one. That was
no, that's a good example.
That sent me.
That did annoy me too. That actually sort of more annoyed me from. I mean, I totally, it would annoy me from either, to be honest. Actually, in that case, more annoyed me from Joe's perspective because Joe's just like sitting there going, tell me. And I'm like, dude, just can you give him a second here? He's going to tell you if you give him 30. Just
no,
calm
the
down.
thing is, he doesn't even tell him. Even like after all, it just hangs up. Like,
and he figures it out from the snakes comment.
It pisses you off like from both ends. It's just
Yeah, no, that was.
And later on with Henry as well, a similar thing happens where like he's asking Henry, just stay on the line, just stay here, just stay with me, just do this, and like. At that point, we kind of understand Henry to be like a somewhat decent, reasonable guy. He's like, I can't, I just need to go. And like, just get fucked.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, this is all, to your point, it's building tension. It's probably realistic, to be honest. At least, I feel like the ones, especially with bloody, oh God, what's her face? Emily. All those conversations with her, those drawn-out conversations.
I never had an issue with Emily. I thought she was always...
Yeah, and that those ones felt realistic, but it's sort of the same sort of. I agree with you. I didn't have as much issue with those. I mean, I guess I was a little bit annoyed by them, but it is the same sort of thing, isn't it? Where it's like we're going in circles of her. She can't calm down,
Yeah, but is it the state of the character is set up to different points. Like like she's clearly like when he's talking to her, she's very distressed. At this point we still think she's the victim. And it's kind of understandable that she's slipping up, she's forgetting things, she's really distraught. But then by the time we get to when he's talking to Henry, who's been pretty level-headed throughout everything, but now all of a sudden now he's gone fucking off the rails a bit, like it's, I don't know. Well, yeah. But like, I do understand movie has to build tension and, make a movie, but like it just fucking annoyed me.
It's just one of those like movie things.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can say it. Fitzy, you look like you're staring at your screen like in bewilderment to what we're saying. Were you frustrated by? No, not really. Were you frustrated by any of this dialogue or any moments like this, or were you just like, bro, like, get invested? Is that what you're thinking?
The baby thing didn't annoy me because I just thought it was hurt. I don't know. Like, I didn't think there was anything to reveal. So like when it revealed the thing about the snakes or whatever, her hurting the baby, that was kind of like that was a good twist for me because I just thought, like, I don't know why the baby would be hurt, but I just thought Henry's a crazy dude, maybe he just did something. So that didn't annoy me, but it could be annoying. But Jake's rage was just too engulfing, I guess. Just got into it that way.
Sure, his performance, I get it.
Also, wouldn't they have a record on her mental history? Like, if they can bring up such an extensive record of like imprisonment and whatnot, surely they'll see that she was institutionalized for fucking however many years.
That's a solid point. Like, they have the record of, he saw that Henry had been put away for assault, like in the first second. You know what I mean? The fact that why wasn't that on file for her? Plot hole exposed. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is. I'm just making this up. I'm pulling this out of my ass. Maybe there's some confidentiality with like psychiatric issues. I don't know.
They clearly don't have their MyGov account linked to their health history.
That's right. Yeah, so Finzi brought up the twist in the film, which is, I liked it. It's sort of, I feel like it's sort of, I don't know, stand for these sort of films to have a twist, but I didn't see it coming. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, I was predicting the wrong twist. I was predicting the whole psychological angle, which was totally wrong, which I don't think I would have. I mean, not that would have been bad necessarily. It depends on the execution, but I definitely prefer this. And I definitely prefer this mainly because of where it goes and how it ties perfectly into, Jake choosing to confess at the end. or whatever he did he go to jail. He's going to go to jail for what he did to the manslaughter. So and I thought that was a much more interesting route, taking the literal route, having him go through this event where he saves lives. He saves Emily's life through his work on the call, and through that sort of realizes he can't live with the guilt, and he couldn't live with if she had died, he couldn't live with that guilt, so he sort of came to the realization that he probably knew deep down the whole time that he can't live with this guilt of killing this person, so he feels much freer going to prison. I thought that was all good stuff. I appreciate strong character motivations making sense, taking the literal route, not doing my bad idea, thank you movie, And I also appreciate just a little thing throughout when they were calling Emily in the car, when he was talking to Emily in the car. I at first I thought it was weird when you have your original understanding of what's happening. I thought it was strange that Henry wasn't taking the phone away from Emily immediately. If it was a kidnapping, because Emily gets back on the phone. And I'm like, why is she back on the phone? Like, why is he allowing this? But to us makes it make sense. Like, there's no immediate reason that he wouldn't take the phone away from her that distressingly, And he was letting her talk to her daughter for so long. So yeah, did you guys like the twist? Oh, Fitzy liked it. Did you like it, Jaden?
Yeah, I thought it was quite good. I was shocked, to say the least.
Shocked and dismayed. Kept you guessing.
Bamboozled me.
That's good. That's good.
I had there's something in my mind. It's just gone.
The worst. The worst. You think of that. I'll in the meantime, I'll tell you this trivia that the film was shot in 11 days during COVID. Well, we know it was during COVID. We brought that up 500 times already. But shot in 11 days.
That makes sense, because you were saying that he directed from a van entirely. I was like, he only has to isolate for 2 weeks. Like, why would he stay in the van after that? But so it was shot in 11 days. It makes sense as to why he was in the van.
Yeah. Imagine if it was a 30-day shoot. He's like, I'm just happy in the van. I'm
just cozying him.
There's donuts, I'll stay here. Yeah. That's what George Lucas would do. He'd stay in the van. For sure. And, I mean, a huge shout out. Huge shout out to the sound design of this movie. It's terrific. It's something that can go unnoticed. It totally carries the events of what's happening. All of the information of the actual events that are transpiring outside of the call center, of which there are a lot of events. We're having to visualize the van. We're having to visualize these different houses, what the police are doing. Tons of different sort of settings were actually plopped into just purely through the audio. And I think the sound design does a really good job at creating that picture for the audience and contributing to the tension as well. You always know what's going on. It's not just like weird dialogue the dialogue was never obnoxious where I feel like it could have been, where you could have characters just describing what's happening, and you never really get that because the sound design elevates the movie. So double thumbs up to the sound design. Good job.
I recalled what I was going to say when you mentioned it.
Good, I bought you enough time.
Obnoxious dialogue, and I was like, the one issue, the one line I take a major problem with was, it was, his superior. I think I'm pretty sure it was the woman that was telling him off. She comes in and she's like, "Broken people save broken people," some shit like that. I was like, "Oh, it's so fucking shit." That's
a great. I didn't even understand that. Like, what's she saying?
Because he's broken, so he saved another broken person in Emily and Oliver or some shit. I can't remember which one it was in relation to, but because he's so damaged, he can relate to the damaged or some shit. I don't know. It was just cringe. I was like, fuck me.
It was a bit out of nowhere, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, how does she know he's broken? Just because I guess he's pretty a bit angry.
I think it's a pretty public thing of his manslaughter.
Oh, of course, yeah, because the journalist was calling him up. Yeah, that's a good point. That must be pretty awkward, actually. Why would Manny want to go and have a beer with this man that is on trial for murder or manslaughter, rather? Or maybe Manny doesn't watch the news. Maybe Manny doesn't know what's going on. Manny was my favorite character. If you couldn't tell, I keep bringing him up.
Did this film have a score? I can't even remember.
Yes, it did have a score. And it was, it was fine. It did its job. It had like dark, brooding moments when like shit got crazy. Andy wrote in a review, a very brief review for The Guilty. He said, "Thank God The Guilty is not the worst Netflix film I've seen. And even though I haven't seen the original yet, he gives it a 6 out of 10. Thanks, Andy. You're wrong, but thank you.
I just think I just like I'm not sure if we've discussed it before, but we probably have about the whole English remake stigma. I'm like,
oh sure,
yeah, it's better that Hollywood does produce original movies, and yeah, you're right. Not every international production needs to be remade, but like typically when they do, they do as something else, and like nothing bad ever arises from making a story more accessible, and this is a good story, and look, you didn't know the Danish original, before this, so like in making this story more public, like nothing bad can come about that, and like allowing it to have a wider audience, and I just really hate I understand some of it, but like the immediate dismissal and like negative connotation that they pick up as soon as they do, and it's just like they get review bombed pretty much like straight away, and like yeah, I really hate that kind of thing, because like sometimes they do offer a lot more. Matt Reeves' remake of Let the Right One In is, in my opinion, like way better than the original, and I think it's a really stellar film. So like, writing them off immediately and going in with this bad mindset, I just think it's such a stupid, toxic way of thinking.
More of the Worlds as well as fucking great remake of a an original.
That's an English. That's the English remake of remake. I'm talking about like the.
It's an American remake though of a British thing, isn't it?
The film, the 1953 film was American as well.
Yeah, but the original book was British, wasn't it?
I get what you're trying to do, but like it's different instances.
Fitzy's really stretching that one about War of the Worlds.
I watched the 2005 War of the Worlds first, and then I watched the 1953 original, and so this is a case of like the 53 like being just better. I'm talking about the way that people are responding to like the, there's a English remake of The Train to Busan, in the works, and everyone's like, why? Just watch it, just read it, and like, yes, fair, but also, it could be a good movie,
Give it a chance.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Fitzy, what is your final score for The Guilty?
6 out of 10. Good movie, That's about it.
Cool. Jaden?
7 out of 10. Better movie than what Liam thinks. That's about it.
I'll give it a 7 too.
I was really hoping you'd go for an 8.
Yeah, no, sorry. Good movie. I liked it. Thumbs up, would recommend it. And I think it's probably about the same as what Jaden thinks, probably. So, yeah.
I think it seems like I was a bit more annoyed by it, but it seems like you're just more accepting to films.
we do review films for a podcast, so I'd like to think I'm accepting towards them. Yeah. Let's get into news chat. Jan, where do we want to start? Do you want to just go with the Agatha WandaVision spin-off series coming to Disney Plus?
Oh yeah, you mean the stupidest thing put to
TV? Dude, people love that character genuinely.
Who?
I see that.
Where? Other than BuzzFeed, where would you see praise for that character?
BuzzFeed. But don't people love that song, don't they? That Frozen song in the show. Remember that?
When she's like, it was Agatha all along, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a... I just don't care about the character at all. Never in my mind did I once want to learn more about her. The show gives us plenty, the show gives us plenty about her. And, like, I can't possibly imagine what more you'd want unless you want to set her up to be, like, in the new Avengers, or some shit like that. I don't know. Like, it's genuinely bewilders me as to who would greenlight that production.
I'll make Kevin Feige, Yeah.
Does everything have to run by him, or actually, yeah, no, I guess, yeah, it would, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it does.
There isn't, like, some, like, one step lower that can, like...
He ticks all the boxes, I mean, I like Catherine Hahn as an actress. I enjoy her. I And I can see this being enjoyable in the lens of if it's playing with genre like WandaVision did, in a different way. I don't want WandaVision again. But like if it's like an MCU comedy or something, or if it's an MCU something to that effect. I don't want grounded drama with Agatha. You know what I mean? I don't, even if it's like, not that I'd watch this, to be honest, but even I'd find it interesting if it were a musical or something and they play off that whole, that song, because I know that was like a big thing because the Frozen creators wrote that song. So if they made it something like that, that's at least interesting, like I'd be like, oh, that's an MCU musical. Who would have thought? But yeah, no, I'm sort of with you. I don't give a shit about this character. So, whatever. Maybe they have some sort of grand plan for it, but
yeah, she was such a nothing character as well. I mean, like she was just generic tropey, just power seeking.
She was a witch from the. I mean, she was straight out of the Crucible, so that was interesting. That was. I think what's his face? Daniel Day-Lewis could also turn up in the MCU now, But Fitzy, I'm sure this is going to get you to watch WandaVision and Agatha. Get excited.
Is the show going to be called Agatha? Is that the name?
We don't know yet. It's just Variety is reporting that the show is in the works. And it's an Agatha spin-off. Imagine if it's just Agatha. Marvel Studios Agatha.
Would it be a prequel, sequel, mid-century set? Like, where would you set it?
It's a good question.
Because I could honestly see them putting it right in like the 50s and like being like really playing on that whole McCarthyism thing and like the whole like Red Scare and witch hunt type thing.
That'd be interesting, but knowing them and how they're building their universe. She didn't die, so I wouldn't be surprised if they want to keep her relevant in the universe as a whole.
Well, what's that team that they're building? With the new Black Widow and
Young Avengers.
Team America, whatever. What's John Walker's
US agent?
Yeah. Like she's probably going to join that team or some shit.
Young Avengers, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm no comics expert. Luke will correct me in the comments, but it's like there's the Young Avengers, which is clearly Florence Pugh and like a few other, and like. I assume Tom Holland could probably be thrown in there too, and Kate Bishop now, Haley Steinfeld. Like throw a few of those people in there. But then there's also the West Coast Avengers, I believe, which would be US agent, and like there's different things going on.
I think there's also like an A Force or like a. I think there's like a Task Force A or some shit like that, where like Agent Venom and like US agent on there and shit like that. So like.
Yes.
A Marvel Suicide Squad.
What are we, some kind of Marvel Studios Suicide Squad? Yeah. Cool. Cillian Murphy is playing Oppenheimer in Spielberg's... Spielberg. It's not Spielberg, thank God. In Nolan's new film, all about Mr. Oppenheimer, the man who created the A-bomb. He created it, right? That's the thing.
I mean, he was a big part of the project. You can't give himself credit.
Sure.
Like,
He was like the leader.
Yeah,
he was
team
the
leader.
main
Yeah.
team leader. Sure, team leader. Project manager on the atomic bomb. So yeah, I speculated about this. I'm not taking any credit. No. So Cillian Murphy's playing the lead, which is great. Love Cillian Murphy.
That's
dude.
proof that Nolan
terrific.
listens to us.
Yes.
Listens directly to us.
Yeah, I mean, he was already rumored to be involved, but not, believe it or not, Nolan hadn't actually at all considered making Cillian Murphy the lead until I said it, believe it or not. So, yeah, I mean, that's super awesome. I'm sure Cillian Murphy's going to kill it because Cillian Murphy is amazing. And in terms of other notable things that Jaden brought to my attention, which is wild, I mean, it's not really wild. It's interesting. It's not wild. I shouldn't say it's wild. Ludwig Göransson is returning to do the score for this film, who his first collaboration with Nolan was with Tenet. Yeah.
No, I think so. Hoyt Van Hoytema is confirmed to come back, but I think Ludwig and Lame, I forget the first name. I think they're only like speculated to be returning, but I think it's like a very likely speculation type thing.
Cool. Okay. And I appreciate that clarification. So Hoyt jumped on with Interstellar. Is that right? And before that, it was Wally. Wally, whatever his name is. Fister. Thank you. I love to think because don't laugh. Because Wally, of course, went on to direct 2014's Transcendence with Johnny Depp. So, do you think Nolan? Because that was why he didn't do Interstellar. Fair enough. Do you think Nolan saw Transcendence and he's just like, I'm never getting this dude back now? He just likes Hoyt better. Hoyt's just probably a better friend. Hoyt's just the guy. But anyway, Hoyt's great. So Hoyt's there, and the editor is it Jen? Is it Jane?
Yeah, I think it was Jen. Jen Lame. Jen. Jay Lane. It's not Jen.
Jay Lane.
I think it's Jen. Jennifer? No, Jen.
Let's go with Jay Lane, the editor of Tenet. Lame. That's lame. The editor of Tenet. I mean, she did a great job editing that film, I think. Considering that film like sort of lives or dies by the editing. And to be fair, maybe like people did find it confusing, so maybe it's a criticism of it. I don't know. Go ahead, Jade.
Well, because I think I remember looking at like previous films, and I'm pretty sure like she edited like a lot smaller or like drama orientated and like not action type things. So like, if this is like a scale back, like we're guessing, and like if it is more character focused, then this should be more up the alley. Although she did do a good job with Tenet, I think she did at least.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a bit more of a return to normal for her.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she can do anything. If she can edit Tenet, you can edit any big budget film, can't you? Let's get into the real shit. Right? We got a teaser trailer for House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones prequel spinoff. Set 200. Holy shit, he's done it again.
Sorry.
Set 200 years before the events of the main show, following House Targaryen. Fitzy, did you watch this trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts on it. How much did it do for you? Are you excited?
I mean, it didn't give us much really. I don't know, it was a teaser trailer. It looks like Game of Thrones, but more like somehow more royal. I don't know, like less medieval. But yeah, it looks decent.
Did the jousting give you that vibe?
Some
jousting in there.
I guess so.
Some dueling.
They looked kind of like more advanced, even though it's prequel. But
that's interesting. Yeah. They're in the prime of the Targaryen reign. They're in the peak of it, and I presume this show will follow it going to shit. So, Jaden, what did you think? And did you love spotting Olivia Cook in there?
Yeah, it was exciting. I was looking for her the entire time, and then she rocks up at the day.
There she was. Yeah, I saw her.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like a return to kind of like season 1 Game of Thrones type thing. Does that make sense? Like, kind of, I don't know.
No,
because Game of Thrones definitely evolved as a show, in terms of like the focus of the series. I feel, and I get what Liam says, but it feels more royal because like that's kind of how I imagine the first season of Game of Thrones being more kind of focused on like, I don't know,
like political.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
and it kind of looks more. It kind of looks a bit more like that kind of thing rather than like the big scale warfare and like house division and shit that we get later seasons.
No, that's fair. I get that.
But yeah, no, it looks, obviously it looks great, but like I'm keen for it. And Matt Smith, he was in it too.
Matt Smith was definitely in there. Yeah.
When I saw him, I was like,
nah, I like this a lot. I think I got a lot out of this trailer, to be honest. Not from a story perspective necessarily, or like a plot perspective. I'm sure plenty of people have broken down the trailer and pointed out exactly who every character is, because I'm sure that's not hard if you know what you're talking about. I don't remember any of that stuff, to be honest. But this trailer, I should say, for the show gave me just production value. That's what I saw. I just saw it everywhere. And I'm like, yes, it reminded me why I love Game of Thrones in a sense, because I love Game of Thrones for the story and the writing and the characters, but like to your point, I guess sort of to what you're saying, Jane, it gave me the look and feel of what I want. I didn't feel like this feels like a premiere HBO production. I didn't feel like I was getting, not that I would have expected this necessarily, but I didn't feel like I was getting some sort of, downgrade spin-off, like, oh, let's just, cash grab or whatever, even though, like, obviously that's what they're doing. They're taking advantage of that IP, but I don't know. It looked great. The show it looks terrific. I'm excited for this show. As someone who, I understand that there's probably a bit of hesitancy, a bit of skepticism out there in the void for another HBO Game of Thrones production at this point for a lot of people. As someone who likes Game of Thrones all the way through, I'm tremendously excited. I'm also tremendously excited for those who don't know in terms of who's involved and everything. We've got sort of, it's an entirely, well, it's not. It's a new core writing team and showrunners, but made up from people who worked on Game of Thrones, directors who directed some Game of Thrones best episodes. Battle of the Bastards director, I believe, is the showrunner or something to that effect, if I'm not mistaken. So they're taking the best bits of the team that is familiar with the show and elevating them to more positions. I'm sure to everyone's collective cheer, D&D have got literally nothing to do with this in any capacity. And, this is based off complete source material, believe it or not. It is based on the Fire and Blood book, which George released in 2018, I think, 2019, which isn't a complete novel. So this show is original content in terms of it's not a series of novels. You're not getting complete scenes or anything like that. It's sort of more a collection of like the history of House Targaryen.
It's a bit of a Fantastic Beasts situation.
I guess so. I think it's more detailed than that. But yeah, sure. That's I get that comparison. So in that sense, the events are complete and very well thought out. So you're not going to get some random, plot twist that you may or may not like at the end that the writer may or may not have wanted. You know what I mean? And George, of course, is credited as the creator of the show, which he never was for Game of Thrones. So you can sort of read into that if you like. The only other thing I want to say, of course, the main actual moment in the trailer that is worth taking note of is the last shot of the Iron Throne looking book accurate. Amazing. Thank you. Killer. I love that. That dude, I never expected that. It was awesome. Do you guys remember, like, see how like the swords are coming all the way down the stairs and shit? Like it looked more like crazy and out there.
Okay. Are they going to like use the sets from Game of Thrones? Like, because if the whole room is different, then wouldn't that be weird? Or do we just have to like imagine there's like a different thing?
I don't
like
know.
a different imagination, like a reimagination of it.
No, it looked the same. It looked like the same throne room to me. I mean, we'll have to see. It
So,
looked
like,
pretty spot on. It looked like the same set to me.
So like King's Landing is going to look the same and everything.
Well, that was definitely, I don't know, to your point, I don't know if it was the exact same set, but that was definitely King's Landing throne room, 100%. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
I'd imagine they would have still shot in the Dubrovnik as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were too. I think that's, I think I heard that. But just huge shout out to that because, like, George has always talked about how the Iron Throne in the show is iconic. It's awesome, but it's not at all what he imagines the throne to be, and how you put the effort in to do this. I think it's really cool.
I think it's probably better that they didn't do the original Iron Throne off the bat because I think like it might appear a bit comical.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But, now having it like that and you can explain away why I was like, yeah, it's probably better.
And you see the evolution of it. It's like it's the perfect opportunity to do it. Yeah, totally. All right. And then we had the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City trailer. Jaden, I know you watched it. How'd you feel about this one? This is apparently coming to theaters.
Well, it's only coming to theaters, as the trailer states.
So made clear.
Yeah, I don't know, because Aiden put in the Discord and he kind of slacked it off a bit, and like, I imagine he has quite a bit of a history with it so maybe it's fair, but like, it seems interesting to me. It seems a bit like the Silent Hill 2006 movie in terms of like kind of characters go into a city and a kind of middle America type thing, you need to escape. It does feel a bit CW, in the production and acting. But yeah, like, because it's like I said, like with no one, because I have no real connection to the series, it's only been something that piques my interest, not actually engaged with it. it seems fine. It seems watchable. It seems enjoyable even. Um, big surprise there. But yeah, so because Aiden said, why can't they get this movie right? So like, there have been Resident Evils in the past, right? And it's with
Oh yes.
it's with what's her face?
Mila,
Yeah,
whatever her
right.
name is.
You see, and like watching those trailers, I always thought this doesn't look like whatever like 7 was, because by the time I actually got engaged with like what the product is, it was like 7 and 8 releasing, and like so seeing the trailers for the older ones, it just seemed like a complete mismatch. So I didn't really understand, but like
they've got nothing to do with the games. Those other movies.
Okay, right,
Yeah. Whereas this is game accurate, or it's trying to be. That's the idea.
But yeah, like I'll watch it. Yeah, I don't know. It seems interesting to me as someone that has no prior experience with the games.
Sure. What about you, Fitzy? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it because it's in the Discord as well.
Cool.
No, yeah, it looks interesting. Looks okay.
I think this movie looks awful. Like, to be totally...
Really?
It looks so bad. But to your point, I think it might be enjoyable, Am I going to... I'm definitely not... Actually, I don't want to make any commitments, I don't think I'll watch this, but I can see enjoyment in it for sure. But in not a good way, to be honest. Like, this just... The whole thing looked like B-movie.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by like CW type thing.
You're absolutely right. It looked like D-movie, though. It looked like... It looked straight to DVD. Is what it was. That's what it looked like.
Okay, I can see that too.
And there's a place for that, and there's definitely enjoyment for that. But it didn't look good. It didn't look like this is going to be a compelling film. But I hope it's enjoyable for sure. But the main takeaway, of course, dude, if this was releasing on DVD in November, it'd be like, cool. Even if it was releasing straight on Netflix, whatever. The fact that this is coming to theaters is sort of the big thing, where it's like, I just can't even I can't imagine like seeing this in the theater. It's so weird. Let's get into our highlights of the week. Liam, what have you been watching?
Midnight Mass, new Netflix miniseries. Really, really loved it. It's kind of a horror thing, small town. Just a very, very great cast and atmosphere and themes, and the actual horror thing is really interesting. It's like combines two things in like a very interesting way, and the show has a lot of like religious themes that it goes into, and yeah, it's just really great. 7 episodes.
Is it a limited series? Is this going to be multi-seasonal as far as you can tell at this point?
Oh no, it's over. Yeah, it's over.
Oh, okay. And this was a Netflix original.
Yes.
So it's not your answer for the end of the...
Definitely not. No.
All right, cool.
It was heard of it? It's Mike Flanagan, right? Like the Haunting of Hill House.
It's the first thing I've seen from him. Yeah.
I reckon you'd love the Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah,
Bly Manor, not so much. But Hill House, yeah.
Yeah, was Bly Manor not so hot?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much. But to be fair, I don't enjoy the source material as much either, so could be that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool, gotcha. What about you, Jaden?
I watched War Dogs, and
it
was great. I like seeing Todd Phillips' name. Like, I didn't know Todd Phillips was the director until I clicked on it on Netflix, and I was like, "The fuck are you doing here? Go direct another fucking Soy Boy Joker thing, whatever."
Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't it be like, for Joker, what are you doing here? Go back and direct War Dogs?
Yeah. So, like, yeah, because, like, I guess this is kind of his bridging movie of, like, straight comedy to kind of comedy drama, and then I guess he goes drama with Joker. But, despite him, I thought it was quite good. It was, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. Jonah Hill's character has such a fucking funny laugh. Every time he laughed, can you, like, do me a favor and just, like, go on YouTube and search up, like, his character his name's Ephraim something, and like just search up his laugh. It is fucking brilliant. And like so many times that I laughed in the movie was just because of his character laughing. But like beyond that, like it is a genuinely engaging movie. Like it's based on a true story, but like even still, it's not an entirely like original like idea. Like it is very, everyone's calling it, it's a bit of Wolf of Wall Street and this and that. But, like, it's honestly like Goodfellas if, I don't know, if you mixed in a bit of business and shit and war, I guess. Because, like, it's kind of got the same, like, kind of start somewhere, flashback, catch up to that part, and then, like, kind of the way everything falls out, But, like, it is just genuinely, like, funny and engaging, and, like, I had a great time with it. Yeah.
Awesome. I thought you were on the verge of saying it's like Goodfellas if it were good or something like.
Oh, it is better than Goodfellas. It's much more pleasurable watch. But
Oh my! I finished the first season of a show called Cobra Kai. Have you guys seen this show? This show is the worst great show I've ever seen in my life, dude. It's genuinely it's bizarre. It's bewildering how popular it is to me. I don't know, maybe like it takes like a dramatic turn in quality in upcoming seasons. But like it's bad, right? It's bad. Like the acting's bad.
Didn't it start as a YouTube original and then move to Netflix?
Yeah, it did, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess that's probably why.
I'm interested to see how that, when we get into the seasons where it's Netflix's money, how that changes, if it's obvious or not. I'm really curious. Dude, this show's got a stupidly high IMDb score for what it is. Like, it's bewildering to me. People love this show. It's like technically bad, to be totally honest with you. But it's great. It's a terrific show, and it's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing to say, and you can only, if you watched it, I hope. I mean, maybe most people who watch it love it, so like maybe that doesn't resonate with people who've seen it either. But it's like the acting's not good, the dialogue's not good, all right. But everyone, it just comes together to like create this bizarre experience that is hilarious, and like you just buy into it. You just like everyone in this show. Karate is like the only thing that matters in the world. Everything, no matter how like businessy things get, everything comes back to karate and karate tournaments, and it's so dumb. But everyone, it just works because you just buy into this shit. It's the weirdest thing. The friggin' the action is hilarious and also great. Like the actual karate martial arts sequences, because it's all shot so clearly it's just all shot in camera so obviously, and it's so obviously just the actors doing everything. So therefore it looks terrible, but it's also amazing because there's no quick cuts. There's no like disguising stunt doubles. It's literally just like scenes where characters are punching and kicking each other, we're expecting quick cuts or fast edits. It's literally just like the camera just stares at the action from far away for like 5 or 10 seconds at a time, exposing every little flaw in the choreography you can ever conceive. Like it doesn't even look like they're hitting each other half the time, but I'm just here for it because I appreciate the commitment to the choreography. Is not bad itself. It's just like the way it's presented, and I appreciate the commitment to just letting it breathe. Just, hey guys, we crafted this fight with the actors. You're just seeing it. No, we're not trying to hide anything at all, and I really appreciate that about it too. So, I mean, I'm super into it. The story's like it's the most like cheesy shit, dude. It's like it's a Karate Kid sequel. So it's like all their kids are like forming rivalries with each other, and who's dating who, but doesn't realize that person is actually this person's kid, and then that causes a problem with the parents. It's like, it's hilarious. You can see it all coming a mile away, but it's a mighty enjoyable television show, I think. So people love it though. So we'll see how it goes in future seasons. All right. As always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts. Oh, wait, no, I've skipped a part. As always, now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week, we asked you, what is the worst Netflix original out there? Aiden said, don't know if it's the worst, but the Godzilla anime series sucked ass. Also, haven't seen it, but Cuties has to be on there for moral reasons. Has Cuties come up on the show before? Because I recognise this.
I don't think we did. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe long ago, like episode 7. I don't know.
Yeah, territory. Yeah. Luke said Warrior Nun was doo-doo garbage dumpster. I remember him talking about that one. But he watched it all. He did. He pulled through on it. Good job. Henry said, Bright is a real stinky one, and the Death Note live action one was a big stinker. Even Willem Dafoe couldn't save it. That's saying something. Have you both seen that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's bad. Well, the main reason it's bad is because, like, the main character sucks, and he's not as cool as the character in the series, but, like, removing it from Death Note, I don't know if it's actually as bad as people say. But, like, as a Death Note thing, it's bad, but I don't know. I barely remember anything from it, but, yeah.
Can I dub that the Last Airbender effect? Do you reckon?
Like when there's like a remake, like people shoot on it more than
like people think like it's bad, but it's not that bad if the show didn't exist, you know.
I don't know. I can't remember enough from it, but it was terrible. But you know.
Oh, okay, all right. That's pretty definitive. Andy said the Netflix show that I truly despise the most is Chris Lilly's Lunatics. It's by far the weakest Chris Lilly production I've seen. The biggest factor as to why I hate it is because all of the other Chris Lilly shows have been taken off Netflix thanks to a group of sensitive human beings. Why didn't they do something about it when the show's released? I have no idea. My point is, Lunatics is the only Chris Lilly show on Netflix, and it's boring. That's why I hate it. Oh, that's a fair reason. Also, why has Jamie, the private schoolgirl, been taken off? Do you guys have any idea as to why? Thanks. Andy looking for genuine insight from us on this topic? Jaden, why has Jamie, the private schoolgirl, been taken off?
Jamie, what are you saying? It's Jamie.
Jamie?
Yeah.
Jamie, yeah.
Oh, okay, my apologies.
Well, like, it's fucking stupid that they're taken off, but like, Summer Heights High and Joan from Tonga were obviously taken off because he was playing a, Islander kid. I'm just trying to remember because like there was definitely like offensive shit in Jamaica, but like I don't know if it was like anything to warrant being removed.
I'm sure there's offensive shit all over it, right?
Yeah.
All over it, all of it.
God. That being removed, it's so fucking stupid. The Yankees had to ruin it, fucking. They say one Chris Lilly show and they're like, it's fucking have a sook.
Oh, man. I'm sorry for botching the Jamay pronunciation. So, Andy, I'm sorry. We also don't have any idea why it was taken off Netflix, other than, well, we speculate it might be the Yankees, as Jaden said. Yeah, probably. I think you already had it figured out, Andy, to be honest. I think you were probably spot on. All right, what are our least favourite Netflix originals, Fitzy?
Well, I think this is a Netflix original. I'm not sure, but okay, it's called SPF 18. And it's a Noah Centineo film. Oh, it's so bad. It's the funniest film. It's the best worst film just like ever. It's so funny. Every interaction in that film is so awkward and weird and just doesn't make any sense, and it's like this weird porn vibe. Honestly, it's like just it's the best, man. I love it.
It sounds like The Room. You're giving me The Room vibes from what you're describing.
From what I've seen in The Room, it looks funner than The Room, I'd say.
Oh, that's good. That's always good.
Some of the interaction is just like, oh, did they just say that? That's just so, yeah,
Right. Yeah. What about you, Jaden?
Like movie? I don't know. I don't know if it's the worst, but like I watched the movie that they just released this week, I think, in time for Halloween, called "There's Someone in Your House," and it is just dog shit. It is just awful acting, writing, characters shit, like stories horrible. Like it's just such an unpleasant experience and just so dull and like just completely withdraw from it immediately because it's just crap. Like the opening kill kind of, it forces you to pay attention because, that's the opening hook to drag you in, but like it immediately just dissipates. Yeah, I don't know. It is really awful. Yeah, I'll say that.
Awesome. Netflix just upholding their reputation here. Jen, I want you to pick mine. Okay, I want you to choose between. I want you to choose between The Woman in the Window and Army of the Dead.
Oh, get fucked. No, bullshit you've seen, here's all that, and they're your two lowest ones.
I had a lot of fun watching Here's All That. Much more fun than Army of the Dead or Woman in the Window.
Yeah, I hate that I have to defend Zack Snyder on the show as the only it's just not right.
I'm sorry, I put you in this position, but it's also fun.
No, I think The Woman in the Window is. So you at least had a good time watching The Woman in the Window, right?
Well, The Woman in the Window was engaging to me.
Right, but whereas Army of the Dead wasn't for you.
No, God no.
Yeah, I guess that's a key point then, and then I guess Army of the Dead's your answer.
You've done a good job at rationalising that. Yeah, that's good. I agree with that. But you think Woman in the Window is better? Like yourself? I'm asking you.
No, I think Army of the Dead's better.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. But did you find what was your experience with Woman in the Window? Did you find that did you have fun watching it?
No.
Okay.
I just thought it was a bad movie.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a bad movie. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I was engaged in trying to figure out what was going on in the first half.
Like everything is to an extent, and I guess like there was an element of intrigue, but very minimal. Because it was enough to keep me watching, but not watching. Not an engaged watching. As it's a very scroll your phone,
sure,
tab on the side type thing.
And then the last half hour didn't do much to bring it home, we'll say. All right. Now I read this part. As always, we'll love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comments section, DM on Instagram, or write it in the Discord. This week we'll be asking you, what is the worst performance you've seen by an actor that you like? It's good. It's a good question. Now, it is time to announce our poll nominees for this month. Jaden and Fitzy will be going head-to-head, which I'm very excited about. Fitzy, do you want to kick us off with your choice for the Instagram poll?
Wait, who was the winner last time?
You were.
Okay. Catch me if you can.
Well, Jane can go first. I'll use my winner rights to make Jane go first.
Okay, all right.
I'll nominate Uncut Gems. I haven't seen a Safdie Brothers movie, but I want to. If that wins, that'll be. I think it should has decent chances.
I would think so too. But what is its competition?
Tropic Thunder.
Fuck.
No, Uncut Gems is mega popular. You don't worry about that. But on Stan as well. Wait, as well. No, it's on Netflix, isn't it? Uncut Gems. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool. That can be the answer for best Netflix original. We didn't ask that though. All right, very good. The poll will go up within around 24 hours of this episode going live. So check out our Instagram and place your votes. And there must be a winner, except for that time that we drawed, which was awkward. All right, that's it for this week's episode. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
American Mary, which is on Prime. Get into the, October horror vibes. I think it's horror, kind of, slasher. Okay. I don't know.
All right. Very good. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks, guys, for joining me, as always. And we'll see you in the next episode of Cinema Effect that you listen to, because you might listen to them out of order. I don't know why you would, unless you're Luke, why would you be, listening in order? Because I doubt you've listened to them all. Did I do a good job at making that as awkward as possible? I probably should have actually stayed more silent. I could have stayed silent a bit longer, actually. Yeah. Jaden's face, it worked. All right. See you, everyone. Have a great week, and goodbye.